Regan Slaymaker for International Boxing News. Now, the pleasure to be joined by the British, the Commonwealth, the European lightweight champion, Sam Noakes. Sam, how are you, mate? I mean, nice little cordial press conference from Ryan Walsh. It was simmering very nicely up there.
Yeah, I think you can see he's very confident. I mean, like, he's talking straight face, very emotionless up there, but he's been about, he's done all this before. This is old news to him, isn't it? So, expecting a good fight, and I think it's going to be the same as it was in the press conference. No nonsense and just straight to it.
Definitely, without repeating anything that kind of Dev did to stir the pot up there, but obviously he's coming off a round one knockout against a really good fighter, Reece Mould. A lot of people picking Reece Mould into that fight. But what did you make of that win that Ryan coming off?
Yeah, I think it was a brilliant win for him. As I said up there, I would have said that Reece Mould was one of the top boys in the division there. And I mean, listen, you can argue that he caught him cold regardless. It was a great shot and it was a great win for him. So that's why he's in that position, and I think it's going to be a good fight. I'm not in it. I've said I'm not in it for just easy fights. Like, I want to keep progressing and learning as a fighter, so that's why we're getting in him. And then obviously I can be the man who beat the man.
Definitely. I was just talking to your coach Al Smith, and I was kind of saying I'd like Reece Mould for you next if it was. So it is a great win for him, and I hope no one's overlooking that one as well. One thing you did make clear, he's not been stopped. He's not really been hurt, but you want to kind of, like Dev said, continue that knockout ratio that you've got.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm only on a one knockout streak now anyway, so I ain't quite the same as he was before. But to be honest, I think with an experienced fighter like Ryan and a tough opponent as he is, I think just getting on focus on getting that win and looking good doing it, to be honest.
Definitely. I do want to touch on kind of your activity this year. I mean, and even from December last year, 5 fights nearly in a calendar year. That's unheard of, especially at championship level. I mean,
be a year to the day, innit? 5th, was it last year?
I've just seen it's a year and 5 days. Yeah. So I mean, it's a serious run. I mean, you must be in contention with a win on December the 7th for Fight of the Year, no? Fighter of the Year.
I don't know. To be honest, I just take it as it comes. I take it a fight at a time. I mean, it's all I can do. I don't get caught up in all the politics and so. I just like keep my feet firmly on the ground and then just keep focusing on what it's all about. Really, not all the nonsense and things. It's about just getting in there, fighting and winning and becoming a better fighter.
You're too humble, Sam. So it must be nice to get some outside recognition, as well as the belts. The belts are enough recognition, right? But to get that recognition from your work in a calendar year, it must be nice.
Oh, I mean, like, obviously financially it's good and all, isn't it? But, I mean, yeah, I think, because obviously, as I said, yeah, went December, and then we found out about February, and then it was like, we talked about July, and then they went, no, we'll do it in April. And I've been thinking, had a good little rest after that one, come back in September and another good fight, and then this one, and then I don't know if there's going to be another show in February, so I'm just going to make sure that I'm ticking over in December over the Christmas period, so if that phone does go, that I'm ready.
Definitely, mate, as well. I do want to touch on, I want to move away from boxing in a minute, but I do want to touch on Henry Turner. Obviously stable, mate, done loads of rounds with him, just coming up short against Jack Graffiti, but for sure, Al's told me Henry's back in the gym, and he'll be back to that title level soon. Yeah,
I think, listen, Henry's a class operator, do you know what I mean? He's only just turned 24, and this is what I said to him after. Like I said, I'd have only had 3 fights because we had lockdown, innit? So I had my first fight at 22, and we had a year out because of lockdown, so he's got plenty of time left, and I think he's a credit to himself. Like, he could have probably took an easier option, but he wanted to go straight in for the British and the Commonwealth, and credit to Jack Rafa, he had a game plan. Like, I mean, to be honest, it was looking like a breeze for Henry, and then obviously got a good body shot and it sort of sapped him out of him. But I think he's going to learn bundles from that fight, and I think he's just going to come on, and he's not dwelling on it. Do you know what I mean? He's back in the gym already, and he's a good, strong-minded fella, and he's going to go far.
He definitely is, and I stand by it. I mean, I remember watching first time I come to the gym, and I think from what Al was saying, I was one of the only people to allow to watch a spar between yourself and Henry. It was probably one of the best rounds I've ever seen. So looking forward to be back in the gym. Looking forward to seeing that again. But Sam, I do want to touch on it. Obviously, the 4 fights this year, 4 celebrations. How does Sam Noakes like to celebrate a fight?
I like to get fat. I like to eat. Now, I don't know. You know, like, thing is, it's a little bit of a sad reality, really, because you're thinking about it. I remember when I first turned pro, get the British title. I remember thinking, whoa, yeah, and I got it, and then it's like, oh, what's next? Do you know what I mean? And then they're like the European, and then you don't even have time. Like, in my head, it was like, you think you dwell on it more than you do, but you get it, and then it just makes you hungry for more. You want to just keep pushing on. I think it'll be time for, like, looking back once I've finished the career, and then I can look back and be like, you know what, that was a bloody good night. That was a good year. Do you know what I mean? And I think, obviously they mean to it, but I want to try and get as far as possible, so I'm not just thinking, like, I'm not overwhelmed. Like, I remember winning the amateurs, everyone's going on about winning ABAs, and I never thought I could do it. And then when I remember doing that, I remember just thinking like, whoa, like what do I do now? And everyone's like, oh, you're going to go pro, and I'm like, well, I don't even know, like, what did you do to go pro? Like, if it weren't for me getting a phone call, I would have just carried on cracking on as an amateur. Like, no one had ever done it. Like, I didn't know how it worked, but I think it's just been a mad journey, and I'm looking forward to keep pushing on. And I mean, to talk about having world titles next year, and obviously Frank's got the back end. Mate, it's just, listen, I've got the fight in December and then a good fight as well, and I'm just going to keep pushing on and keep enjoying the ride, to be honest.
Definitely, and I'm going to carry on enjoying the ride with you, Sam, as well. Final one, no more cruises booked in with Sean?
Nah, not I ain't going with him again. No, I think, listen, if one comes up, we'll go. I think, to be fair, it was a real relaxing time, and if for some reason there was one docked, say, not going, it got a 5-day down period, but an unreal place to have a training camp, like the gyms and that, unreal. The facility was the bollocks. It was good.
I was going to say, you're the only fighter, Sam, to go on holiday and then find a boxing ring and do pads.
I know, that's what I mean. It's mental, isn't it? We couldn't believe it, because obviously, like, so we had a woman get in touch with us about going on there, and then obviously, like, documenting on social media. Like, I'm not big on stories and things like that. It's just boxing and that's it, really. And then got on there, and then they got like a running track. They got boxing rings, all that, like classes, spin classes. I couldn't believe it, and all the equipment was like top of the range and all that. And it was a really good time. It was really good. Like, I definitely do it. I think it's sort of opened that up for me. I wouldn't have done it before, and like, it's more of a older person thing to do. But I think if you get good destinations, man, I'm going to be some holiday.
Definitely. Any cruise companies give International Boxing News a shout, and maybe Sam Noakes will give you the plug as well. Sam, I mean, a bit of a change of topic at the end here, but any final words for the fans flocking from Maidstone to Wembley Arena on December the 7th, mate?
Yeah, I think just come in, enjoy the fights. You've got two of the Noakes brothers on there, and we're both in good tear-ups, and it's going to be a brilliant night of boxing.
Sam Noakes, always a pleasure. Thank you very much, mate. Cheers.